Greetings, people. How you doing? It's only me. I've got a cup of tea. Always prepare for exercise with a good cup of tea. It's actually decaf, but it's Yorkshire tea. Is it acceptable to drink Yorkshire decaf tea? I don't know, but I do. So welcome. Thank you for joining. Not many yoga teachers start a class with tea, do they? Maybe a peppermint tea or a chamomile. It's nice to have you along. If it's your first time, it's like I'm not prepared today. I am prepared. I'm always prepared, but the words don't seem to come out. If it's your first time, then a wholehearted welcome. It will get better than this, let me tell you. It will get more fluid. It's like, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Doesn't even look like a yoga teacher. And it's funny because I was at the cinema last night and I saw someone and she said, I think I know you. I know your face. And most people know me through yoga. So I said, oh, it's probably through yoga. And she said to me, oh, well, thank you for saying that because I'm glad that you think I do yoga. I've never done yoga in my life. And I said to her, people who do yoga, we don't look a certain way, you know. It's like, if you look at Instagram, we do look a certain way and it's not like this. I said, all sorts of people do yoga and we don't have a certain way or a certain look. It's accessible to everybody. So maybe keep that in mind if you are new to the practice and you might be thinking, oh, I'm not sure if yoga's for me. Well, ultimately, all it is spending a little bit of time with yourself, appreciating yourself, maybe calming the nervous system down a little bit, being curious about the way that you move without any judgment, but ultimately being kind of compassionate to yourself, right? And finding that connection, because that's all we're after, really, like kindness, compassion, connection. Is there anything else in life? Or the pursuit of money, Dave? It's all about money and possessions, but we all know that it's not, right? If you're relatively comfortable, that's not saying that people who don't have any money at all are comfortable and, that's not a problem. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm all right sat here in my flat. Oh, no, I don't need any more money. I'm not a rich man, but I'm rich in what I do in terms of, practicing yoga and teaching yoga to you lovely people. So we can find richness in lots of different ways, right? And the pursuit of money is probably not the way forward. Saying that, if you want to and you want to donate to the virtual village hall, then you can do that. And remember, these guys, they're now on TikTok. Who doesn't like TikTok? And they're also on Instagram. Everyone's on Instagram, right? You're going, I ain't on Instagram, Dave. So Facebook is where they started. Now they're expanding out, or we're expanding out to Instagram and TikTok. So give them a follow, because it's important that they get followers, because then we can spread all of the amazing content, all the amazing classes, teachers, to more and more people. And that's a way of connecting, right? Within and without. I mean, outside of ourselves. And then we might get curious and you might go to, a local event. You might spend a bit more time with people if that's where you want to go. Not everyone does, right? So it's a personal practice and it's a personal choice. But give these guys a follow, give them your support, because I genuinely mean this when I say it. It's an incredible organization and the people in the background are really lovely people. Genuinely. They treat us so well. So thank you to the Virtual Village Hall and ultimately to the Royal Voluntary Service. All right. Okay. I think we're ready to go. I'm going to go back there. I would like you to find a comfortable seat, or if a comfortable seat is not comfortable for you, find something that is, right? We'll start with our spine being nice and long. But if you want to sit up against the wall, if you want to sit on a chair, that's perfectly reasonable. I'm just going to check this. Yes, Louise. I like that. I had a yogi tea this morning, with the little tea bag messages on them. Affirmations sometimes, aren't they? I had one of those. So I hope your peace tea's nice. And hi to Margaret. Who else is here? Irene's here. Thank you for coming, Irene. It's always nice to have you along. If anyone else is here, give it a little wave. Let's do some yoga. I haven't got my timer on today. I usually use this thing. It's got a Space to Breathe logo on the back. But I'm not going to use it today because I didn't use it this morning when I taught. And it felt a lot nicer not staring at my phone, even if it's just the timer. So I'm going to use, no, I'm not. I said I was going to use a blanket. I'm not going to use a blanket. I'm going to sit directly on the floor. I'm back here. I'm in Leicester. It's absolutely honking it down in Leicester. I've got a big balcony, not a big balcony, but I've got a balcony window in front of me here, and the rain is hammering it down. And I live right up in the attic, so it's hammering down on my roof at the moment. It sounds good. Okay, let's draw some length into our spines. And maybe let's just do that. Let's, if it feels okay, once you've had a little wriggle around, maybe close your eyes. Don't think you have to do that. Maybe you just soften your gaze and then just notice what's present. You don't have to kind of go too deep here, but maybe it's just about the sounds. So what I'm going to do is, I don't have my timer, but I'm going to estimate a minute, and I'm just going to listen to the rain. But whatever sound is occurring within your space, subtle or something that's close by, just check in with it. And then just take a couple more rounds of breath. And if your eyes are closed, then maybe just come with your eyes open. And what I should say from this point is, if you want to move at any point in the seated sequence at the start, go for it. You can lean back into the hands and you can bring your legs out. If you're sat on the chair, you can kind of adjust your seat. If you're sat up against the wall, you can do this kind of thing as well. So what I encourage you to do is to, bring a little bit of fluidity into your practice. Make sure you don't get uncomfortable, and use as many props and blankets, bolsters, whatever you might have around you, just to aid your practice. Remember, a lot of this is just a suggestion. And then come back to a seated position that works for you. It might not even be cross-legged. It doesn't matter. You don't have to sit like this. And maybe reflect on just that minute that we spent, or whatever time it was. As I say, I wasn't timing it. But for me, there was an inward focus, and the inward focus was just on the sound of the rain. And I was kind of contemplating, as I listened to the rain, the simplicity of just that practice. And that single pointedness of the attention just on one thing, and just being curious about the rain. So instead of looking at the rain and going, oh, it's raining again. Oh, that rain, it's been raining all the time. I was just enjoying the sound of the rain, right? It's going to come and it's going to go. And maybe you listen to the wind, or maybe you listen to the sounds of your neighbors or somebody in the street outside, wherever you are. Maybe sounds of nature if you're lucky enough to practice, somewhere that was rural or semi-rural. But just that idea of just bringing our focus inwards can be really healing. Okay, let's move a little bit. So I'm going to bring my hands onto my knees, and then we'll start with this nice pose that we did, Sufi grind. Inhale the chest forward, and then exhale as you round the spine. So this is an inhale here, and then exhale as you come back. But don't kind of fret too much about the breath. Just make sure you're breathing and you're letting the breath drive these movements, or guide the movements is probably a better way to think about it. So we just rotate the torso around the hips. And remember, you don't have to be like me, you have to bend deeply into the elbows. You can sit up nice and tall and just draw little circles. Maybe start here and stay here, or maybe you kind of make the circles a little bit bigger. Remember, it's your choice, it's your practice. So you bring into it what you will. There's no pressure here. We're just seeing where this takes us. Inhale, come back to center when you're ready. And take an exhale with the spine long, and then just swap that out. Come back the other way. You can close the eyes if that feels good. You can soften the gaze. Anything that feels reasonable, then please bring it into your practice. Stay nice and relaxed through your jaw. You know, even a kind of just a little suggestion of really loosening your face. So there's no tension there. Well, the idea is that you release tension. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, just let your breath go. And then again, if you want to have a little move, feel free. I'm just going to swap my shins out just because it feels nice to find that balance in the hips. I have a little wriggle around. And then when you're ready, take an inhale and just sweep the arms up into the air. Maybe clasp the hands, or maybe I'm going to do this today. I'm just going to hold on to one of my wrists. I'm just going to cup around my wrist, and I inhale up, and then just a little bit of movement side to side. And I can kind of swap the hand over. I can kind of, whatever side I'm going to, I can draw the opposite arm down. But again, just don't focus too much on this. And I'd hate you to kind of stress about it and think, oh, what's he doing? I have to do something exactly the same. Maybe do this, push the palms up towards the sky, towards your ceiling. As you exhale, round your spine and push the palms forward. So you lean back into the spine and you really tuck the navel back towards your backbone. And then inhale, you lift up and stretch it out, and maybe a little bit of movement side to side. And then exhale, maybe around your spine. Just kind of free things up in your shoulders, in your lower spine. Kind of side to side movements can feel really beautiful here. And then inhale, come back to center, and then we'll twist to the right. So you're going to bring the right hand behind and then bring your left hand onto your right knee. So we're set up really beautifully for a nice twist. So the spine is long. Take an inhale. As you exhale, twist to the right. So I'm pressed into my fingertips. So my hand's kind of like this. I'm kind of pressing down. I'm not on the palm of my hand. I could be, but I prefer to press into my fingers because I feel like I get a little bit more length in my spine. Try not to move your head here too much. Kind of keep it in line with your sternum. Every inhale, find some length. And every exhale into a little twist. Maybe one more like that. So nice deep inhale. And then take a full exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, come all the way back to center, and then just swap that out to the other side. Maybe have a little wriggle through the arms, and then come to the left. So the right hand places on the left knee, left fingertips behind. Inhale to find length, and exhale into your twist. Breathe it out. Kind of see what works for you. Remember, this doesn't have to be like super deep, expansive posture. It's just a twisting of your spine, and you think about your navel, and you just work out how everything feels. Feel that stretch in your lower spine. Take one more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, come all the way back to center. Maybe swap your legs out again. Remember, you can do a lot of this sat on a chair if that's where you are. And then what we're going to do is going to bring the arms out. So in line with the shoulders. Maybe look down your right arm, then look down your left. And feel free to turn your palms up, or you can have your palms down, or you can gravitate between those two. Gravitate's a nice word, isn't it? We're going to twist over towards the right. So take an inhale to center, and then as you exhale, just a little twist to the right. So you don't want to push this. So I'm thinking about this part of my body, my navel. I'm letting that guide the movement. And then there's a little bit of like kind of, I guess, projection and propulsion through my arms. You know, and then I might look down my right arm, and then I might really slowly turn my gaze and look down my left arm. But let the kind of the shoulders and the arms, the fingertips guide the movement. Take an inhale, come back to center. It's hard, right? Just to keep the arms up. I'm getting a lot warmer here. And then exhale over towards the left. See how that feels. Kind of breathe in between the shoulder blades. Again, maybe look down the left fingers. Maybe look up through the right fingers. Someone in my class this week was doing this, and I wasn't teaching it, and it looked really beautiful. So our students can really inspire us. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale to the right. Now moving with the breath. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. One more time, either side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Bring the hands down. Palms of face up on the knees. Maybe close the eyes or draw the gaze down towards the feet. Soften. and let it all go. Just find stillness within your body. How does that feel? And for me, there's heat in my body. I feel more energized. I feel more alive. 2:30 in the afternoon. Sometimes I just want to have a little snooze. It's okay, but not every day. Not for me anyway. All right, beautiful. Maybe swap the shins out again. Bring the hands, maybe bring the feet out. Let's just drop the knees to either side if that's where you are. We can really kind of find focus within our physical body, can't we, in yoga? I was up in the Lake District at the weekend and I was running and I was tired and I was like, oh, I feel really fatigued, and I was running near Crummock Water and I was quite up high on a hill, and then I just turned my ankle coming down, and just before that I'd gone, I'm really tired. So, you know, that fatigue had crept into me, into my body, and I wasn't quite aware of it, but I can really feel it in my ankle now as I move from side to side. And then come back to center. And the purpose of that story, number one, I felt it in my ankle, but number two is that we can get really sensitive to kind of like stress and tiredness, and it's only when it's upon us that we go, oh, I'm absolutely bushed, or, you know, I feel so stressed and overwhelmed. So I think what yoga can do, it can be just this little early warning system just to see where we are. And I know at the moment my practice is a little bit more, a little softer than have been. Not that I do really, you know, physical yoga. That's not really where I want to go with yoga, but I feel like I need to nurture myself more. So kind of pick up on that. And that, you know, the moments that we sit at the start and we just listen, and we're listening inside and we're listening to the sounds outside, that can give us really beautiful kind of guidance. And intuition is one of the most important things, right? Okay, a little bit of spinal flex. So I'm just going to have another little drink. I don't want to let my tea get super cold. Bring your hands onto your front shin, and then we're just going to flex the spine. So you inhale the chest forward. You see, I've just rocked my pelvis forward, and then as I exhale, I lean back into the spine. So my hands aren't doing a lot. They're kind of just resting. I don't need my hands really, but a little bit of purchase is nice. So inhale forward, exhale as you come back. A little bit like a camel ride, right? And the pelvis, so you think about it, it's doing this. And what I ask you to do is don't do this. Don't move the head stays still. You don't want to move the head around like that. So inhale and exhale, and it might be really slow. So I've seen some people, and they inhale and they exhale a little bit more like the cat-cow we did earlier in the class. But some people get into the breath and they use a powerful breath, and they kind of just find this little movement, the flexing movement. And this is where I like to go. So I'm having a quick look at my clock on the wall, which is over there, and I'm just checking on time. And then just get into this nice steady movement. You can always close the eyes as well. It's a bit of a weird one, right? Don't overthink it. Don't think, oh, I'm doing it completely wrong. It feels really cumbersome. It's just a little rock of the pelvis. And then wherever you found yourself with that movement, however quick or slow you were going, take an inhale just to lengthen your spine. As you exhale, let your breath go. One more like that. Nice deep inhale. And then take a full exhale. And that can be quite energetic, right? You can kind of feel the energy in your body. So bring the palms so they face up again, and then maybe just find some stillness, a little bit of silence. I'll be quiet for a little bit. And then when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, just come with your eyes open. All right, really beautiful. We're going to transition onto all fours. So if you want to join me there, if you know you've got anything going on with your knees, any pressure points, pad them out. You know, a blanket can be really beautiful. So join me in tabletop. And because we've been sat for a good amount of time today, maybe stretch the legs back. You know, maybe stretch the right leg back, and you know, a familiar move where we just lengthen the legs and we just work out what's going on for us. And then bring the knees right underneath the hips. Soften the tops of the feet into the earth. And then just move for a few rounds of cat and cow. Inhale, drop your belly down, lift your head, lift your heart, and then exhale round your spine. And just get into a nice rhythm here, cat and cow. Don't move the arms. Keep them nice and still. And just notice how this nice rhythmic movement goes, kind of like a wave. I think it's a really beautiful way to move the spine. If we don't do yoga, then it can feel a little unfamiliar. Every time you inhale, your spine is long and your head and your heart lift. And then every time you exhale, you tuck your chin towards your sternum and you round your spine. When you're ready, inhale, come back to center. And then as you exhale, just split your knees a little wider and come into child's pose. And feel free to kind of support the head out here. Maybe place your head on your hands or on a blanket. And then just soften for a moment. So this is a beautiful unfurling pose where we find that firmness through our back and then our softness through our heart. I've got a little bit of cramp in my foot, which is why we keep fidgeting around here. Don't follow my moves, follow your own. See how deeply you can breathe here. And then when you're ready, inhale, come all the way back to center. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tuck our toes and we're going to come into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes on, a big spread out through the hands, lift your hips. Remember all of that nonsense about getting your heels down on the floor. If you can, naturally, great. And if you can't, that's not what down dog's about. So lengthen your spine. See how much I've bent my knees, and especially in this first one, I want to kind of move around a little bit. Kind of not too much weight in the arms. So try not to be here. You know, this is kind of in between. We kind of do this sort of thing. Try and be here, you know, where the legs are bent maybe, and then the hips are nice and high and the spine is long. Beautiful. All right, from here, bend the knees a lot deeper, and then we'll walk the hands back towards the feet. So we'll come to a standing forward fold really briefly. So what I was going to say, implore you to do. What I encourage you to do is bend the knees and then just hang loose. So try not to do this. You know, when you're hanging like this, your body won't thank you for that. Your spine will be cramping. You'll bring too much tension into your lumbar spine, and your hamstrings will be working too hard. So bend the knees. You've got loads of time to kind of find the floor in our lives. We don't have to do it today. When you're ready, inhale. Keep the hands down. Keep them dangling. Press into the feet, and then just roll all the way up, bone by bone, vertebra by vertebra, and then come up to stand. Beautiful. And then we're going to find ourselves at the top of our mats. Okay, so walk forward. See how that feels. Maybe keep the feet a little bit separated, but make sure the feet are lined up with the long edges of your mat. Maybe just pad the feet a little. Maybe close your eyes and notice what it feels like here. Notice the kind of parts of the body that you need to recruit. Maybe the four corners of the feet. Maybe the kind of thighs. You know, the hips are engaged. The shoulders are relaxed. The spine is long. Head just balances on top of your neck. Maybe sway from side to side. Try not to crunch into your toes, but see how all of this feels. Beautiful. We'll do just a little bit of work through half sun salutations with our breath. So let's start with our hands at our heart. It's always a good place to be. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And then as you exhale, hinge and fold, come all the way down. Remember, look, I'm going to bend my knees so I can fold in a little bit like this. And then I'm going to keep the bend in my knees and inhale, just draw length in your spine. See, my back is relatively flat here. I roll my shoulders back. As I exhale, I hinge and fold in. And then I root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to your heart. So that's one round. Let me just go for a few. Working with your breath. Every breath has a movement. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge and fold, come all the way down. Inhale to lengthen, flat back. Exhale to hinge and fold. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And then exhale, frame your hands at your heart. So you kind of work with the breath. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back. Exhale, hinge and fold. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Let's go one more like that. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to fold. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, frame your hands to your heart. Beautiful. Pause here just for a moment. See how this feels. Let's move it on just a little bit. I mean, you can carry on doing that. If you're really comfortable and you don't want to come into this next section where we kind of bring a little bit of work through plank, carry on doing that. That's a perfect place to be. Hands at the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale to hinge and fold. Come all the way in. Nice. Inhale, lengthen, come up halfway. And then this time, exhale, hands down. Just step one foot back, then the other. Nice big steps. Give yourself as much room as feels good. Separate the feet and then inhale into your plank. So remember, when you're in plank, you can do this. You can drop the knees and that's perfect. Or you're in high plank, engage through the fingertips, the shoulders. Tuck the tailbone under. Nice and long through the legs. Kind of press into the heels. Press into your toes. All right, take one more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, drop the knees and lower all the way down onto the floor. So now you're here, soften the tops of the feet, keep the elbows tucked in, take an inhale into Cobra, please don't come up too high, and then exhale, kiss the forehead back down to the earth, and then push your mat firmly away and come into downward facing dog. Just lift the hips, breathe it out, nice deep inhale, and a full exhale. One more like that, deep inhale, a full exhale. From here, you're going to bend the knees and hinge the hips up between your hands and then step to the top of your mat. I do it in two, but you might do it in a lot more than that. Or some people like to hop forward. It's your choice. When you arrive, take an inhale to return to that flat back position and then exhale to hinge and fold. And then root down through the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms high and wide, come to stand. And then exhale, your hands will frame at your heart center. Lovely. All right, should we do one more like that? Inhale up. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen, come up halfway. Exhale, the hands are down, you're stepping back into plank. Inhale here to find plank. And then exhale to lower. Drop the knees, lower nice and slowly with control. So you feel it through the arms. Inhale into Cobra. And then exhale, push the mat away into downward facing dog. Breathe it out. 2 breaths. Deep inhale. Full exhale. One more like that. Nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. From here, bend the knees, hinge the hips up between the hands. Same thing again. Just step to the top of your mat. 1 foot, then the other. Inhale to come up halfway. And exhale to fold. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to your heart. So maybe feeling a little more energized. Maybe separate the feet. You can always have the palms forward. This is, a classic Tadasana shape. Just feel your groundedness, your rootedness. Breathe it out. Beautiful. Let's do a little balance today. So remember, with balances, You might kind of wobble around, you might fall around, that's okay, it's not a problem. Now you can always come near a wall and kind of have a fingertip on the wall, and you can use that as a guide, so it's your choice. The thing that works for me is I kind of look at one thing. I'm lucky today because I can see myself on my laptop, so I'll probably just stare at myself, but sometimes that puts me off, so I'll find something else. Sometimes it's like, I don't know, a foot in front of you, something like that. So let's start with the right foot. So root down through the right foot. You're going to lift the left knee. So you can do this in all manner of ways. You can bring the hands onto the knees. You can lift the left knee up. This may be where you want to stay, or you can just make a basket grip around the left knee and kind of pull the left knee in, and then find that one focal point. Now you might wobble around here a little bit. We're not going to do any more than this today. We're just finding a little bit of balance. You know, the amount of times that I'm waiting around in shops, the amount of times I do this now, hiring a car, waiting at the desk, stand like this. No one's ever said anything to me. Do you like balancing one leg, Dave? Yeah, I do actually. But you know, with those little moments of balance, then I found that I can balance a lot better, right? And you know, I find that I've got this, and we need this as we all grow older. We kind of lose our balance. So if you're wobbling around, it's a little indication that you probably, you know, benefit from a little practice. You know, remember you can do this one. Brush your teeth with one leg in the air. Perfect. And then bring the leg down and give the legs a little shake out. And sometimes you can feel really stressed after it, like, oh, that was hard. Oh, that took a lot of energy. That's all right. It's a practice, right? This is a yoga practice. The idea that we all got to be great at it, there's no good, there's no bad. I keep saying that, and it's true. Okay, root down through the left foot, lift up through the right leg. You know, maybe this is where you are. Maybe you make a basket grip and relax the shoulders. Now my leg here, my left foot is a lot weaker than my right. I've had a lot of problems there, plantar fasciitis, and I've twisted my ankle lots of times. And, you know, I find that it's a lot weaker. It gets fatigued a lot quicker. And I'm not as strong on this side. So I have to work a little harder. I probably can't balance as well. It's okay. I don't label my body good or bad. It just is, right? It's 51 years old. It needs a little bit of love. Whoop, nearly. All right, take one more round of breath. And then exhale, bring the leg down. Give the legs a good shake out. This is a nice movement to do just to kind of let it all go. Just twist from side to side. Kind of don't worry about what this looks like. Little twist in motion. That's it. My dishwasher's just finished. I've got the joy of emptying it after this class. I won't leave it for my wife. I probably will. We could do it together, right? All right. Beautiful. Bring the arms so a little lower down. Kind of swing the arms from side to side. Bring the palms so they face forward. From here, this standing position, Tadasana, take an inhale. When you're ready, take a full exhale. One more like that. Nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. And again, after this little bit of wordage, I will be quiet, but just check in with yourself again. The kind of end of the physical practice. See how you feel. I'll be quiet for a little bit of time. Maybe notice the kind of subtlety of the energy in your body. Maybe you feel it in your hands, your fingertips, that aliveness. Really, really beautiful. From here, we're going to come back to seated. So again, any way that feels good for you. You can sit on a chair, back against the wall, get some cushions. What do you want to do? We've got some really good cushions around here, but I think a blanket will suffice for me today. I've got this lovely one that I bought in Rishikesh when I was in India a few years ago. It's beautiful. So I'm going to use that today just to kind of raise my sit bones up. All right. Last bit of tea. Let's do a little bit of breath work, nice and gentle. So we're going to do some alternate nostril breathing just to balance this practice out. Nice and simple. Left hand will do nothing, right hand will do everything. Bring your right hand up with your right thumb, close off your right nostril. So you just press your right nostril in, take a deep inhale through your left nostril. And then close off the left nostril with your little finger, exhale through the right. Staying relaxed. Inhale through your right. Close off right, exhale through your left. Inhale through your left. Close off left, exhale through your right. Inhale through your right. Close off right, exhale through your left. Inhale through your left. Close off left, exhale through your right. Inhale through your right. Gently close off right, exhale through your left. One more time either side. Inhale through the left. Switch, exhale through your right. Inhale through your right. Close off right, exhale through your left. Bring your right hand down onto your knee and just spend a little bit of time. Maybe the eyes are closed or the gaze is soft. And we try not to kind of rush the end of the practice too much. We're going to stay here for the next couple of minutes. This is where the class will end. And see if you can, imagine space within your body, space that you've created. And think of that nourishment that floods in when we practice yoga, when we give ourselves a little bit of time to just be and not achieve, just be as we're meant to be, our true nature, which is hopefully somewhere where you can go, even if it's just a glimpse. There's no right and wrong here. If you think, it's too much, my mind's too active, keep doing it. Just gently practice and see what unfolds. And this stuff doesn't come overnight. Just take a couple more rounds of breath. No rush, nice and slow. And then from here, if it feels okay, you might just bring your hands to your heart. Nice to press the thumbs into the sternum and then just bring the fingertips a little forward so you give yourself, you give your shoulders enough space to relax and let go. And then notice the effects of your practice. And ultimately, thank yourself for showing up, whether you did this live or you're doing it on catch up. Well done for practicing. Hopefully you kind of picked up on that energy around you. You know, even though this is online, just the idea that people are practicing together can be really powerful. And then nice and simple, just a wholehearted bow, wishing yourself well and wishing everybody else well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for practicing with me today. It's really nice to have you along for the ride. Hopefully you got something from it. And even if you just take a tiny little bit from it, right? It's like, oh, I quite like that. I didn't like that so much. But if it's the breath work you like, then, you know, maybe some more breath work would be brilliant for you. If you want more powerful practices, maybe more sun salutations, maybe a little bit more flow. If you want something a little bit more nurturing, then, you know, just make this stuff up. It doesn't have to be a certain thing, and it doesn't have to be too prescriptive, right? So kind of just let your intuition guide you, and suddenly you've got a practice that works for you. And I think sometimes we think it's got to be a certain thing, or it needs to be in a certain sequence. The way I see it is, as long as you've warmed yourself up a little bit, as long as you're not hurting yourself and you're not pushing it too far, that's your practice, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever it is, minutes. It doesn't have to be a long time. But, you know, these little moments where we can just encourage ourselves to calm and to relax and to find whatever wellness it is you're looking for. You deserve it, right? You deserve it. You don't deserve to be rushing around all the time. So I know that's unavoidable for a lot of us, but if it's 5 minutes, find 5 minutes when you get up in the morning or 5 minutes when you go to bed, and build that beautiful routine, but not to the point where it's like, oh, I didn't do it, I'm a terrible person. Gentle, 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 always gentle, right? This is our time. I truly believe that, right? This is your time. So don't delay. Go get it. It's there for us all, right? All right, that's enough from me. It's really, really lovely to have you along. Thank you for your beautiful comments, and thank you to the lovely people at Virtual Village Hall. Remember Instagram, remember TikTok. Always remember TikTok, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, lovely to see you all. Take care, and I'll see you all next week. Love you. Bye.